Gupta, sir. Dr. Prashanta Sharma, sir, now
Yes,
you
sir,
can share
can
your
see
screen. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sharma, sir, now you can share your screen. Screen the screen meaning of financial governance, the second page. All these things are coming.
I see. My voice is audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, this is now
So
audible,
I use my mobile phone also just to for the benefit of the students. I just use my mobile phone.
sir.
The benefit of the listener, I just use my mobile phone. Shall I start now? Dear friends, shall I start now?
Just a minute, sir. Please wait. I think Dr. Sapnani Dutta Madam is here in this group.
Yes, sir.
A very good evening to all of you, respected resource person, sir, Professor Prashanta Sharma, sir, and dear participants. Now, again, we have to move for the first technical session of this day. So, I'd like to request our dear participant, Dr. Sapnani Dutta Madam, to moderate this session and introduce our speaker, sir, of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das, sir, for giving me this opportunity. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Sapnali Datta, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology, Arya Vidyapeeth College. It's my privilege to have been asked to moderate the session. Respected today's resource person, Dr. Prashanta Sharma, sir, HOD Commerce, Guwahati University, members of the
I'm not
organizing-
HOD, I'm professor. I'm not HOD, I'm not yet HOD. I'm not HOD.
Sorry, sir.
I'm professor, I'm just Teacher of Commerce Department. I'm not HOD.
Okay, sir. Members of the organizing committee and my fellow participant. On behalf of the organizing committee, CESR, I welcome you all for the technical session 11, that is the third technical session of the day. For this session, we are very much honored to have with us Professor Prashanta Sharma, sir, from Guwahati University. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Now, a very brief introduction of the speaker. Professor Prashanta Sharma, sir, is working in the Department of Commerce, Guwahati University. He was a faculty member of the Department of Commerce, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, and former Finance and Accounts Officer, DPEP, Darang Government of Assam. His teaching areas are advanced accounting, research methodology, project management, etc. His research areas are budgeting and public finance. Under his supervision, 10 numbers of research scholars completed PhD. He has published more than 40 research papers in different national and international journals. He is the Vice President of Guwahati University Teachers Association, and he is closely related to many social organizations. Today, he will present on the topic financial governance. Now, on behalf of the organizing committee, my fellow participants are requested to switch off their mic and videos. Now, I'd like to request our speaker, sir, to carry forward the session. Session is all yours, sir. Sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sapnali Datta, ma'am. Now I'm to start. Friends, it's very old. I'm very sad that at morning session I could not join because of some technical reason. I was returning hard, but because of some technical problem, I could not join. Now I have to speak of the financial governance. We have learned so many things about the governance, corporate governance, e-governance, so many things we are discussing. Particularly, we are a customer of corporate governance, but we have to think of the financial governance. Now, why? Why we need to think about financial governance? It's a very important thing. Suppose we, the student of commerce, particularly, know that different kind of decision planning strategy, it is based on mainly your financial information. If there is wrong information, wrong presentation of information, wrong managing of information, wrong analysis of information, then I just want to say the decision will be wrong. Everything will be wrong. And because of that, we have to be very much cautious about the financial information should be as per standard or not. We have to govern the presenting of financial information. And because of that, I want to discuss about the financial governance. That is a very important thing. What the financial governance? Because financial governance are such things. If we have the adequate financial information, right financial information, our decision and planning and our strategy will be correct. Because of that, we have to give importance to financial governance. Financial governance means we have to give importance on collection of the financial information, managing of financial information, and monitoring and control of the financial information. These three words is very metaphoric. I just want to say very comprehensive or metaphoric. What I'm to say, collection means you have to collect such kind of data from your financial statement, which help us to have a good decision. Management, your financial report should be prepared well. So your accounting standard concept is not apart from your financial governance. Financial governance speak more than accounting standard, but accounting standard is important integral part of this financial governance also. We have to have proper accounting system. And after having the accounting system, how this accounting information will be well presented. That is come to manage. Next, monitor and control of financial information. Whether financial information is properly displayed or not, whether the recording of the transaction is proper or not, all these things have to be monitored under financial governance system. And because of that, we have to say financial governance means the way company collect, manage, and monitor and control the financial information. Next, I want to say what financial information include actually. Financial governance include. I just want to say financial governance include. In this case, I want to say that tracking of financial transaction. That means all this kind of transaction is properly recorded or not. I just want to say tracking of financial transaction, that transaction is properly recorded or not. Sometimes something may be happen, some transaction is happen, but the record is not placed because of some technical fault or because of some fraudulent practices. Because of that, we have to see that tracking of financial transaction in terms of books of accounts and managing of the performance, whether this financial presentation is well or not, properly displayed or not, whether the financial information collected from financial statement properly managed or not for decision making. Next is control data and compliance. Control data means data is not manipulated. Data is free from any sort of manipulation. And there is proper computer device for collecting the information, for recording the information, and whether it has compliance with existing rules and regulation and IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, or International National Accounting Standard, or Indian Accounting Standard or not, or generally accepted accounting principle or not, but we have to see. So that is called compliance part. Next is operation and disclosure. After this, having this financial information, how it will be operated and disclosed, how it will be interpreted, and how it will be presented for our decision making for the benefit of the user, for the interest of the user. That is the very important things. That is just like a kitchen. So you are collecting cabbages, cauliflower, how it is well, that means well procured, how it is well arranged, properly cutting, and how it is properly washed and how it is properly arranged for cooking. Same type of concept in case of financial information or your managerial process of decision making. And in this process, financial governance take a very key role. Next, I'm to say that when we discuss the characteristic of the financial governance and nature of financial governance, we have to put the policy and procedures company used to manage the business data. How, what way business data are managed and what way they ensure the data is correct. First thing, how the financial data is managed for decision making and how they ensure the data is correct. Whether there is proper observation, proper audit system, internal check system, all these things come under this kind of purview. Second, we have to see that the regulatory compliance, regulation doesn't mean only IFRS and Indian accounting standard. Suppose in case of banking company, they have, that means Reserve Bank has own regulation. Whether Banking Regulation Act, they are following the Banking Regulation Act or not. In case of LIC, they are following the, that means LIC Insurance Companies Regulation Act or not. These are the different kind of things. Similarly, and along with this kind of IFRS and Indian accounting standard, we have to see that in this corporate sector, whether we are complying the Company Act or not, Company 2013 or not. In case of public sector enterprise, we have to see whether this kind of concerning regulation of this public sector act is properly followed or not, along with IFRS on IS. That is the things. So mostly we have to give importance for Indian financial reporting standard and generally accounting accepted principle for this kind of the data recording, and in case of monitoring also whether this thing is properly followed or not. Next is accountability, whether financial government give a proper accountability or not. Suppose I'm giving the financial data, I should be responsible for providing this kind of data. Who is responsible? Who is responsible for providing this data? So in ownership, when somebody is responsible for a particular unit, and accountability, who is responsible, who is accountable, that have to be checked by financial information. Because some mistake is occurred, then who will take responsibility? If somebody is responsible, there is chance for accuracy in providing the financial information. And next is that financial governance give a clear view of life cycle of data from the transaction point, how it is recorded in journal and ledger, how displayed in a financial statement, how this information collected from financial information, that report, and that is again presented for managerial decision making under the purview of management accounting. That all things covered by your financial governance. And last one, I just want to say it answers some question like that: who did, what to eat, and when. That data is collected, when this data is collected, what is the relationship with data, who are the authorized person for spending money, who are accountable for providing data, who are accountable for spending this kind of expenditure, and who reported. All these things clear. Then somebody may be responsible and somebody may be responsible for any kind of wrong information. All these things answer come under your financial governance. And financial governance help us make a faster close, expedite the completion of other financial process. That means decision-making process. Suppose for identifying the risks, identifying the opportunity, what kind of opportunity we have for further investment, for further expansion of business, for what kind of opportunity we have, that can be easily identified if you have proper financial governance. Similarly, risks can be located. What kind of factor is disturbing us for achieving our goal? That kind of thing also easily understood if we have proper financial governance. So financial governance is related with first and foremost very important things: internal control. Though I have given two different things, financial control and internal control, both are related. Actually, we have to say it together. Internal control or financial control, these are very important things for your proper financial governance. We need to have a proper financial policy. Financial policy not only say that how to record financial account, that is not only policy. What purpose financial information will be applied for different aspect of our management is covered under the, this will come under the financial policies. Similarly, audit is very important. Many times it is very difficult in case of government sector, what is internal and external audit. But in case of government, corporate sector, it's very convenient to say we must have internal and external audit just to ensure that the data are correct. If data is not correct, then financial governance is collapsed. It's not really working. And proper workflow means in relation to financial governance, how data will come, how data will be presented, how data will be recorded. Everything should have a proper workflow. There should not have any bottleneck. Otherwise, information will not come on proper time. And there should have proper computer device to generate proper workflow in relation to financial governance. Next is data tracking and validation. Our the computer device or information technology should be such that we can easily collect the data. Data can be tracked easily, and whether data is reliable or not, that can be checked easily. That system should be ensured by your financial governance system. And next is data security. There should not have any kind of option to lose the data. There is no, should not have any scope for manipulation of data. All these things are very important for your, that means financial governance. Again, question comes, why financial governance is important? That I have already spoken. First thing, we need to have data is correct or not. That is very important. Before taking medicine, I have to say medicine is pure or not. Similarly, without having proper data, our strategy will not be proper. Because of that, we want to ensure that data is correct or not. That can be ensured from your proper financial governance. Similarly, we have to see the correct version of data is properly used or not. Many times we commit mistake. Data is correct, we are unable to use properly. Data should be used properly. You have so many things you cannot use properly. You have so many items inside the kitchen, but you cannot apply properly for your cooking. Same concept is applied. Your correct data should be utilized correctly. And that is why that is very important for your financial governance. And next, I'm to say financial governance is important to ensure that we are complying the regulation. The regulation is followed properly by the business unit or government unit that we have to check. And we have to say that this financial data help us for having proper strategy and proper direction for understanding business reality that help us this financial governance. Now, I have mentioned the control. What the meaning of control? Actually, in management concept, control means we have to make a company standard with actual deviation. But control is saying something different along with that. Control is actually we have to have some sort of software device also. So we have to develop such kind of software so data is well structured and formality. So to have the control system under your financial governance, you need to have this kind of software which ensure that data is properly structured and data is properly formed, proper formatting. And we need to have single data hub. Here, if there is so many sources of data in case of your software device, sometimes there may be chaos also. We need to have single data hub that like a historical information. When we go and we can collect the information easily for prompt decision making. So, and along with this control device, there is some system in software that check the accuracy of data, accuracy of the input data. That is very important. Along with that, our software should help us for audit trail. When there is a question of internal or external audit, through this software, audit can be promptly happen. Some sort of government department I know, it's a very miserable because of improper this kind of software package, or there is lack of software package also in some government department. What happened? They are doing audit for last 10 years record of. They are not up to date for auditing. When auditing is not up to date, there is chances for scandal. You have to know audit must be up to date. And for having the up to date process of audit, we need to have proper software system which help us for audit trail or for identify the data properly. Similarly, our this kind of system help us to close to our disclosure, to disclose our information, to present our information. This kind of control system mechanism should help us. And control mechanism should be such that there is standardized workflow in relation to financial transaction, financial record, financial decision making. This workflow should be systematic one. There should not have any haphazard way. Systematic way, our data process help us to understand the workflow. And automating process and standardized workflow is very similar type of things. If there is proper automating process, it will be convenient for us to understand the workflow. It will be convenient us to manage the data and interpret the data. And this financial process build more confidence. It will be very faster for decision making, and this control process make us more confident. There should have fewer disturbance. Fewer bottleneck means fewer disturbance. Fewer, that means mismanagement. There should not have lack of any kind. There should not have any kind of this type of misappropriation of data or mismanaging of data. Many times we have that because of technical error, we are unable to present the data many times. So the computer error is very serious matter, and we have to ensure that there is a less bottleneck in our system for presenting our data, and our performance management will be good because of this kind of control mechanism. Now, I have to say, dear friends, I have given the relationship of your software package and your that means internet system for your governance finance. Today's governance finance, today's that means financial governance. Today's financial governance should not be discussed without computer technology or your electronic technology. That is very important. Though I am not an expert of electronic technology, I do not have expertise in your data entry operation or other things. But as a layman, I understand that this kind of electronic technology is very important for your financial governance. But conceptually, I understand it's very important. But one thing I just want to say, many times we discuss about the corporate governance. Okay, corporate governance. But I have to say, corporate governance will not be successful if there is no financial governance. Actually, financial governance is the ingredient of corporate governance. I just want to say how financial governance help the application of the corporate governance policies. Suppose corporate governance give important best management practice. Without having proper data feed, management practice will not be proper, and because of that, financial governance is linking with corporate governance. Similarly, compliance of law giving importance in case of your corporate governance, and financial governance also giving the same things, that your financial recording, spending, everything as per law. So I think that without financial governance, there will be no corporate governance also. And similarly, ethical standard, audit always ensure the ethical standard for effective management. And distribution of the wealth means our profit, our resources should be distributed to the shareholder, to the creditor. It will be distributed to the creditor. It will be distributed to the creditor. It will be distributed to customer. It will be distributed to employee. So they are the very stakeholder. So without having proper financial management, whether we can expect that shareholder will be getting good value, whether we can expect that creditor will get the return, and because of that, we find the financial governance is very important. But the policy of corporate governance, there is the policy of financial governance also. And similarly, for having the social responsibility. Social responsibility doesn't mean only donation from the company for social welfare. Social responsibility is provide quality product, quality service also. So without having proper management, proper financial management, we cannot say that there is a quality, and that is why I have to say the goals of corporate management, policy of corporate governance is a policy of financial governance also. And so we want to do business, and the company form of business for the benefit of the shareholder. So financial governance also thinks such a way that financial information should help the management for profit maximization or wealth maximization. That is nothing, that is to satisfy the desire of the shareholder. Wealth maximization means shareholder value must be maximized. So in this case, financial governance, financial management is very important. So I do not want to say all these things. All these are the stakeholders. So their information can be provided properly by the financial governance. With the help of financial governance, corporate governance policy can provide this information to this kind of things. Now, fourth pillar where financial governance has essential role, which are essential for financial governance also, accountability. Accountability means what kind of data will be presented by the company. Company should be responsible. Without, on the basis of this data, shareholder will take decision, investor will take decision, management will take decision, and company is responsible. And concerning accountant, concerning manager who interpret the data of accountant, they are also responsible. Accountability must be there to the financial government. Fairness means justice should be made to the shareholders. There may have minor shareholder also. They have to be also justice. They have to be given justice. There must have equality. So it may be possible through this financial governance. Transparency means what the profit, what the loss, what the expenditure, what the policy expressed in the budget in terms of budget, in terms of financial statement, that must be transparent for the stakeholder. That must be transparent for the government also, because they are expecting tax from the corporate entity. I'm not telling only corporate, it is applicable for other government organization also. But in case of government organization, I have to discuss separately because something is different. I shall come to that part later. Independence means in case of financial governance, there is audit team, audit party, controller, monitoring party. They must be independent. They're free from any sort of pressure to justify, to take decision, to suggest. These are the very important things for your financial governance. Significance of corporate governance in terms of financial governance, I have to say, suppose in case of financial management, we are giving importance for external finance. External finance is important for external finance many times based on your creditworthiness and your financial performance. That can be related with your proper financial governance. If you do not have proper financial governance, then your financial performance will not be good. Sometimes your performance is good, but your presentation is wrong. Your data presentation is wrong. That also comes under the purview of financial governance. So that is why I have to say that through the financial governance, we can achieve this kind of significance. Lower cost of capital. Suppose we come to know the student of commerce, we know many times that in lieu of your equity share capital, your loan is the cheapest source of the capital. We consider that that debt capital is the cheapest source of capital because the loan supplier will be satisfied only their interest amount, but equity shareholder require more dividend and more return. And because of that, we have to say many times in financial management that we need to have the cheapest source in terms of debt capital also. So in this case, your financial governance help us to make a proper balance of debt equity combination, because we have to have proper decision making through the data. With this data, we come to know what is the optimal mix and how we can manage the cheapest source of finance. And similarly, our credit worthiness increase our performance and sustainability. Sustainability means what is my standard as a businessman in terms of my performance that can be kept intact. As a singer, how I perform, that should be kept intact is my sustainability. So I want to improve my performance, and at the same time, I want to keep intact my standard. If I'm a very good standard, I have to keep intact. So in this case, if you have proper financial governance, which help in managerial practice or financial policy practice, managerial practice, that help us for proper performance and sustainability. And another thing I just want to see, it gives us higher valuation when there will have proper reputation of our corporation. In particular for the investor, our firm's value will be more. For new shareholder, the shareholder who want to purchase our share, not only new, in the stock market who desire to purchase our share, our company share, they are ready to give more value because we have well-managed finance to financial governance. Reduce the risks. It reduces the risks related to any sort of problem for achieving our target or any chances of loss that can be reduced by this kind of proper things. And there may have scope for scandal, not in the case of only private sector. In case of government sector, we find it's a lot of scandal. Scandal always kill the reputation, and therefore And in this regard, this financial governance have a very key role. And I just want to say what the process of financial governance, what process of financial governance support the corporate governance. This is a very important. Suppose first one is sustainable development. I need not to repeat the same thing, already have spoken. Effective management and distribution, discharge of social responsibility, and this is ethics, the risks, ethical spirit. Ethical spirit is a very important thing. When there'll be proper auditing, proper monitoring, we expect that there'll be ethical spirit and compliance of law. These are things I have already spoken. Now, question come, when you discuss the financial governance, we are discussing a corporate governance also. In terms of financial governance, I have already mentioned the corporate governance. Now, I have to say corporate governance, not only the policy of corporate governance, not only related to private sector, it is very much applicable for government sectors. But we have to discuss something specially for government sector. Something is very special for government sector. Because of that, I have divided financial governance for private sector and government sector. And though there is similarity in both the practices, but in case of government sector, we have to give something more importance. And so I'm going to now government sectors. In government sector, we have to give more importance on budgeting. What budget take role in private sector? It take more role in budget sector, government sector, because budget is approved by the representative of the parliament many times. So it is always approved by the representative parliament. So people of India, or people of Assam, or people of the state always approve the budget through the state legislative assembly or through parliament. So budget has a key role for ensuring the financial governance in the government sector. At the same time, auditing is very important. Internal, external performance audit, both are required. I have to speak about zero-based budgeting, relevance of zero-based budgeting later. But I have to say auditing, we have to see internal, external performance audit is working in terms of the monitoring. Now, similarly, regulation. Government has a lot of regulation. I don't have scope. What are the regulation? What the content of regulation? That take a lot of time. Because of that, I just compact it. I do not want to speak regulation more. I have to think. I have to speak on the concept and philosophy in relation to financial governance. Regulation, government has a lot of regulation along with this kind of accounting standard. So that the regulation is followed or not properly, that has to be monitored. But I'm just say that along with this kind of three things, regulation, ethics, and transparency, first two and last one is more important for government undertaking, like budgeting, auditing, and transparency. It's very important. Now, in case of auditing, when I'm to speak about the internal audit, I have to say that in government department, we find not only in India, in other countries also, there is two types of this kind of audit. Audit is internal audit, particularly centralized and decentralized. And participants definitely know that internal audit is doing by the internal component of the undertaking or department or internal member, what I'm to say. So what I want to observe that in case of government department, something is centralized, where every government department auditing is continued completed by the Ministry of Finance, because they have prepared the budget, they used to prepare the budget, they allocate the fund, allocate the resource, and because of that, they are busy for auditing also. In some nation, it is this kind of practice is there. And there is decentralized approach. In our case, in India, we find little bit decentralized. Why I am to say here? Because though financial government, finance ministry prepare the budget with the support of different ministry, with the different kind of information received by different ministry, they prepare the budget. At the same time, it is the responsibility of the ministry, different ministry, to seek and to safeguard their accounting record by their own mechanism. So this happened in different countries that along with financial ministry, there is a decentralized approach to make a monitoring and make a budget for their own. And in decentralized approach, you have to mention the name of state, the United Kingdom. And similarly, they are basically followed this kind of internal audit function, decentralized audit function. But sometimes it's very difficult to make a segregation between internal and external audit function. I just want to say, in case of Controller and Auditor General, though they work sometimes as the external auditor, but they are involved compilation of account of very the different government department. They work as a compilation agency for accounting preparation. At the same time, they work as an auditor. So it's very difficult to make a proper segregation of internal external audit in some aspect. But I'm a teacher of Guwahati University. I mean, Guwahati University, I find Guwahati University has separate internal audit section. We have internal audit section. For us, when cake party come, chartered accountant come, local governance come, local accounts come, they are for us external auditors. But our internal audit section work as the internal auditor. But this kind of segregation may not be possible in all aspects. So in internal audit, we find Swaziland and Tanzania. These are the example of Africa. They have like the central internal audit section. They have accountant general department. They follow central auditing mechanism. They are responsible for auditing. Ghana, before passing the Internal Audit Agency Act, they also follow this kind of internal audit, central internal audit section in the auditing practice before 2003. And United States, they have the special practice. They have Inspector General Office for government department and agency. This Inspector General is responsible for monitoring the accounting practices of the United States. Similarly, in United Kingdom, they have decentralized mechanism audit function. I have already mentioned. In South Africa and Ghana are example where the internal audit unit are managed without guidance or control from Central Finance Ministry. Central Finance Ministry has no role in case of South Africa and Ghana for internal audit practice. They are independent. They do their own way. And in case of Ghana, we find internal audit agency is responsible for coordinating and providing the quality assurance for audit practice. And their audit report is presented to the president, directly to president. They are not responsible to present their information to finance ministry. They are responsible to the president of the nation. And in internal audit act, a centralized independent agency operating under the responsibility of cabinet office. What happened? In case of Ghana, what is the internal audit agency? They are under control of a cabinet office, not direct central ministry of finance. So they are under the control of cabinet office. And in case of Malta, we have found a different kind of practice. They have financial investigation directorate, and they make internal audit. And for all the government department, they are working under the office of Prime Minister, and Secretary of Cabinet is the chairman for this kind of their management authority. So we find internal audit and financial investigation directorate work under the Prime Minister office, and they independently work under the guidance of Prime Minister office for different kind of government department or ensure the proper financial governance. So we find they report to the permanent secretary of ministry, and the director may also transmit a copy of such report to ODT. That means the ODT party also give the report, at the same time directed give the report to the secretary of the ministry. So this is the process of this kind of Malta. Now I have to say that what the role played by the internal audit for answering the government finance, that we have to see, ensuring the proper financial governance. First thing, there is an independent and objective assessment whether our financial data appropriate or not, financial management or data application of financial data is appropriate or not. That is checked by this kind of internal audit party, internal audit system. And similarly, we have to ensure that our government activity is effective, because if there is a proper internal audit system, our government decision making and strategy and planning will also be very much effective. And next, I just want to say here that it helps us for advocating the improvement. How government go for all-round improvement, economic development program that can be supported by proper financial governance through this kind of internal audit practice. And another thing that they give some sort of recommendation for few things like appropriate ethics. There should not have any kind of scam that can be ensured by auditing under this financial governance in case of government sectors. Similarly, performance management is monitored by this kind of auditing also, and coordinating and communicating the information. Information should pass to the planning department or different kind of administrative department through properly that can be coordinated and communicated by this kind of internal audit mechanism. And it ensures the accountability. It ensures the accountability, and it ensures the internal control mechanism for this internal audit. And in case of public sector, we have to say in case of public sector, not only government department, in case of public sector, this internal audit mechanism has some other role, like organizational framework. They look the organizational framework, whether this organizational framework is suitable or not for financing, for spending the financial resources, utilizing financial resources, and for proper recording of the data. Next, they show the budget cycle, whether from this organization framework, what budgets come, what budget planning come, what is the cycle of the budget, how data is collected from different segments, how it is monitored, how it is assembled, that can be checked by this kind of internal audit mechanism. So it is very important. So internal control and audit procurement, it can be ensured by internal audit, internal control, any sort of procurement can be checked by this internal audit mechanism. And next, it facilitates the external audit. In absence of proper internal audit, we cannot expect a proper external audit. And in absence of internal audit in government sector, there will be no fiscal discipline. Fiscal management is not proper. And because of that, internal audit is an integral part for government finance. What a role play by the internal audit in your public sector is more than that in case of your government sectors, because government is handling with the resource of the public. So internal audit also support for allocating resource for priority sectors, because internal audit monitor that government resource, public resources properly utilized or not. What is the needy sector that can be visualized by this kind of proper internal checking and auditing. And this efficient allocation of the services, public services. Similarly, control structure is proper or not. There is a proper accountable form of framework or not. All these things is very much important for your that means financial governance under this your auditing practice. Now, I have to say financial governance is very important for risk management also. I just want to say financial governance is very important for risk management. What's the risk? Risk means any kind of event or activity which can restrict or which can adversely affect achieving our target, which disturb us for achieving our target, or which adversely affect in the process of achieving our achievement outcome, organizational outcome. That is called risk. And risk management is the process which consciously determine the risks. We become conscious about what risks happen, what risk is there in our activity process. Similarly, it helps us for decision-making process. It helps us for decision-making process for managing the risks. And it helps us opportunity. When we have opportunity against the risks, harness and identification of this opportunity is very important for the risk management. And in this process, financial governance take a very key role. And because of risk management, we can minimize loss and maximize our profit. And this risk management practice through this financial governance help us for strategic management process. We can help for strategic management through the governmental strategic management. We ultimately go for national development planning and study. Internal audit manage risks in public sector also. It look the corruption scam, which is a very integral part in case of public sector undertaking. You find because of corruption and scandal, many public sector undertaking is not working properly. They become very sick, and that can be checked properly by this investigation. They identify the corruption, and some confidential information may be given, which are not under the observation of top management. So this internal audit, that means we come to know what information, what things are vital for our strategy, for absorb the market, for the health of the corporation, health of the business unit, that can be identified for the public sector unit through this internal audit mechanism. In case of internal audit mechanism, there is so many things. There is a public account committee, estimate committee, they also take role. But I am to say, in lieu of public account committee and estimate committee, these are parliamentary bodies and bodies. They have many times little scope for analyze the things. In lieu of that, we need to have proper mechanism for proper internal audit and monitoring for public sector undertaking. Another thing I have to say that what the performance of audit, I need not to speak. Already I have spoken. I just, that means I overlook. I don't want to speak this kind of thing. I don't want to speak about this in detailed form, because already I have spoken. Now, performance audit and financial government. In this case, I have to speak about performing audit. Yes, I have to speak of the performing audit. Performing audit is a different one. I should not skip from this kind of slides. I should need not to skip from this slide, because performance audit is different. We monitor the performance. Performance audit give importance not only what spending, how resources collected. It give more importance whether against the target we are receiving or not. And similarly, it helps us to evaluating our performance. And performance audit is important for our monitoring, not only spending, not only resource utilization. It helps us to improve our performance. So for improving the performance, we have to know the cost in our program or planning, what cost is incurred. At the same time, how much we finance and how we go to receive, and what process will be followed for receiving the outcome. All these things are to be checked by your, all these things are checked by your performance audit. So it provides useful feedback for corrective mechanism and for planning for improving our performance. But audit has some sort of challenges. First thing, relationship between internal audit and external audit. Internal audit should supplement the information, should supply the information to external audit. Internal audit facilitate the external audit. Many times it may not be happen, or there may be overlapping of the work also. So this relationship should be properly outlined, properly demarcated. It's very important. Quality of service, whether audit service is quality or not. In absence of, that means sincere and honest employee, we cannot expect, and your efficient, competent person, we cannot expect that quality service under this audit system. Audit committee, composition of audit committee, their oversight, whether their selection is good or not. Similarly, we have to give importance on competent staff. These are the some things for your auditing. So I don't want to say the influence of the good governance. I want to skip this kind of slide. Already I have spoken these informations. But in case of good governance, I have to say one thing, that we need to have some accounting standard actually, like your private sector, we need to have some sort of accounting standard. Like I give some information in governmental accounting standard, it is called GASB. In the United States, they have governmental accounting standard. They set the accounting practice of all the 50 states of the United States. But along with this, the government accounting standard, United States had federal accounting standard advisory board for individual state. This type of mechanism is very good for government department, just to avoid any kind of malpractices, any kind of scam, any kind of corruption, and ensure the correctness of the data, reliability of data. And that is why this kind of things may be advisable for our Indian context also. Though we have different kind of accounting standard, for government department, we have proper this kind of standard design is very essential. Next, I just want to say, there is a role of budget also. At the same time, we have to discuss the role of budget. Budget is a very important thing. Budget doesn't mean a plan expresses monetary terms. Budget goes beyond the private sector. or the purpose of budget for private sector is different for public sector. Actually, in public sector, budget ensures the accountability of the public department, government department, more accountability. Executive and management become more responsible. It is actually proper strategy of the people, accountability to the people, and decision support system. So any kind of decision we have to make on the light of your budget. So budgets serve the administrative function. So what happened? It's my experience. When I was doing government department, I found one day I was committing mistake. I was spending money beyond the budgeted target. Then some of my assistant told me, "Sir, you are not observing that budget target is this much." So it serves our area, our criteria, how much we can work, how much we can spend. So budget is an administrative yardstick for us. Similarly, it gives us the information to, through the budget, top management also get information through the implementation of your budget, because through appropriation accounts, we come to know in the government department how much budgeted money is utilized. And through the budget, lower level management, all the department, all the segment come to know how much we have authority to spend. So proper communication come. Decision may be possible through the budget. Budget boundary, we have to take decision. So it is a legal authority, give the legal authority. I am authorized to spend this under this limit. So these are the legal authority. Budget have some sort of another role, it larger management program. Through the budget, our management program is visualized. What is the strategic management that express financial terms and this help us in your financial, because we know the larger management program for the budget. Accounting system is developed. So things for finance government department follow the accounting head of accounts for the budget. So data operation accounting system is supported by the budget. It helps the organization mechanism, cost information. It helps us to understand the outcome. How much revenue target we have, how much we achieve. So against the annual work plan, what is the target of achievement, how much achieved? That can be, we come to know through this kind of budget. So there is different kind of budget, traditional budget, performance budget, program budget. Traditional budget means we have to prepare the budget in conventional system, like on the basis of past experience, past expenditure, we prepare the budget for coming year. Performance budget give the importance on the performance, what the target performance, on the basis of that, what resource will be required, what cost will be required, that is determined. So efficiency evaluated on the basis of that. Program that what is the program, what the detailed content of the program to make success the program, what resource, what ingredient will be required. So these things of different types of budget help us our financial governance different aspect. Now in budget we have some sort of problem also. We send in case of financial government, though we am telling that financial governance is supported by budget, but we have some system problem. Accounting system to provide the budget information for budget, but it is not sufficient. Accounting system give us historical data many times, but what our plan in market, our plan is different. As per our plan, market price may be different now. So accounting data may not be sufficient always for budget preparation. Similarly, we require more information, larger management information system is required, which may be tough sometimes for some government undertaking. And another thing is that in our entire system of the government, central government has budget, state government has budget, and the state government, different public undertaking is there. They have the different kind of budget. So many layers is there. So to manage the entire public finance properly through the financial governance, there is need of assimilation. This assimilation process is very gigantic. It's a very difficult one. So there is need of proper software mechanism which help us. And it is a very laborious work. I think it's a very laborious work, and there is scope of manipulations. And many times we expect the participatory budget for involving different interests. That is very much difficult. Any question? I should try to conclude now. then I shall try to conclude now. My time is over. So next must be given to the budget. So I do not want to speak more. I come to the concluding part. Now, my good friends, I just want to say, somebody please mute your microphone. I'm getting disturbance, please. So we want to advise zero-based budget. Zero-based budget, what happened in case of budget challenge? Many times we go for conventional system of budget in government because I'm the researcher of government budget. So major part of government budget we find is a conventional system. What spending in last year, on the basis of that we prepare the budget. So what mistake we occurred in last year, that will be carried forward again. And because of that, we want to say that zero-based budgeting important. It helps us our decision package. We ask the official, our different participant, what should be the decision for our undertaking, and which one is a suitable decision for fulfill this kind of decision package, what resources will be required. On the basis of that, we may go for zero-based budget. And another is automated budget. Automated budget mechanism is that it outline the program and performance system through your computer device. What program, what performance, and who will be responsible for this program. It become more simpler one, more simple one, because who is responsible for preparing this budget, for implementing the budget, and how it will be prepared on the basis of the program. And similarly, it give emphasis on the performance. Last one, I just want to say that automated budget mechanism help the financial governance by single unified budget. So I have to say, without having proper management system, without having proper financial governance system, we cannot go for proper planning for our development of the nation, not only in corporate sector, but in government sector also. And for having proper financial governance, we give more focus in proper budgeting, proper internal audit system, proper auditing system. And at the same time, we have to check that our data is properly interpreted or not for decision making or not. That is the end of my today's speech. I'm very thankful that till 5:38 now, you are listening my lecture, and I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful to the organizer. They are giving me scope to speak this way, and that is a good answer. This kind of sharing of knowledge is very important. It is called knowledge revolution. Knowledge revolution comes this kind of online seminar also, online or offline. This kind of workshop is very important for knowledge revolution. I am grateful to all the organizers, and that is the end of my lecture. If you have some query, you can ask.
Thank you, sir, for the very informative and interesting presentation. Now the session is open for discussion. Dear esteemed participants, you can put your queries in the chat box, or you can ask directly by unmute yourself.
Hello.
A very good question. You're asking the gender budgeting system audited in India. How is gender budgeting system audited in India? I just want to say we are discussing many times gender budget system, but what kind of auditing system we have through this mainly from Comptroller and Auditor General, we find gender budget is not properly ensured yet. Gender budget auditing or gender budgeting system is not properly ensured. Though we have the question of gender budgeting on the basis of gender, we have to allocate the resource, we have to utilize the resource. But I think it is not properly addressed by the government mechanism that have to be addressed, and just should have proper component under the auditing system to check this kind of gender budgeting and auditing. Any more question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I have given my reply, Mr. Sharma. Are you listening my voice? I have given my reply. I have given my reply.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Sir, this is Dr. Siddharth Sharma from SBMS College, Kolkata.
I understand. I am listening. I observed your name.
Yeah, sir, my question is sir, the moment we say, sir, you have mentioned about wealth maximization, sir. Sir, the moment we say sir, like we say about wealth maximization, And from your lectures, I understood one thing, that this financial governance system has a direct relationship towards the achieving this wealth maximization. Sir, can you put some light on this particular thing, like how this can be, this financial governance can be?
Say, in very narrow aspect, I'm to say, wealth maximization in the narrow aspect. When shareholder value is enhanced the market, we want to say in very narrow aspect is a wealth maximization. In the broader aspect, wealth maximization means when company, in the broader aspect, I'm not telling from financial management perspective or accounting perspective. As a layman, when I say the wealth maximization means when a corporate entity give proper contribution to the society, that is called wealth maximization. The resource of the corporation is used for the benefit of the society, that is wealth maximization. And in narrow aspect, when the shareholder value is maximized or increased, that is called wealth maximization. Now, how financial governance help us? Because financial governance give us correct information, correct data, reliable data, and they check also whether this data is properly interpreted or not for decision-making process. And when proper data come, proper decision-making mechanism come through proper interpretation, definitely it helps in our policy making, which lead to profit maximization or wealth maximization or quality service, quality product, and proper social responsibility of the farm, which in the broad sense also it is wealth maximization. In the business terms also, I want to say maximization of the shareholder value. And because of that, I want to say that the financial governance help in wealth maximization.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any question?
Sir, there is a question again from Kunjalata Brahma Bathari. What system of
Yeah.
auditing is in sixth schedule, financial governance structure?
What system of auditing is followed in sixth schedule in financial governance structure? What system of audit is followed? Actually, I'm to say that in case of government aspect, I'm not telling about sixth schedule. It is difficult now to say for me to say in detailed form. But what kind of auditing we find in case of your government department, it is not actually properly your zero-based budgeting and performance budgeting. Some public undertaking we follow this kind of performance budget, but zero-based budgeting is not properly addressed. Mainly in our government departments are encompassed by your conventional budget system or traditional budget system. But in case of corporate sector, corporate entity, there is an attempt for zero-based budget and performance budget more. And that is why it is very, I just want to welcome that we have to have proper research and innovation for application of this kind of zero-based budget and performance budget in some segment of public sector also, along with corporate sector. Any more questions?
So one more question from Madam Baryakar. Sir, in India, we are following single budgeting system. Please throw more light on both performance and zero budgeting. What is the reason we are moving towards performance and zero budgeting?
In simple what I understand, in lieu of conventional budget, why you are giving importance for zero-based or performance budget, if I'm not wrong? That is the question. In lieu of conventional budget, why you are going for or who are giving advocacy for your zero-based budget and performance budget? That is a very good question, what I understand. Traditional budget system, what happened, what expenditure incurred. Suppose I give a small example. Somebody is preparing the budget for picnic party. That will be very easy to understand, picnic party. And in case of picnic party, what expenditure incurred by the last year manager of picnic party? On the basis of that, we prepare a budget for this year. And we increase the expenditure on the basis of number of participants increase this time, number of items increase this time. So it is based on last year expenditure. If something is happened, some mistake, some limitation is there in last year expenditure or last year expenditure structure, that will be carried forward in this year. And it is less scope for open your mind. Your mind parasites will be not open. We just follow the last year record only. But in case of zero-based budget, we think from zero. We do not want to look the past record. We ask the team members what you want, what we require. There may have different package. There is different type of idea that this year we have to follow this kind of things. Somebody say, no, this will be, there will be different kind of item is better. So we have to monitor the decision package. Which one is suitable for the mission of our team? On the basis of that, what accept the decision package, in this decision package, what are the companies required for this decision package? On the basis of that, we take the price of market price of this kind of input required for decision package, and you prepare the zero-based budget accordingly. So same practice may be happen in some government undertaking and department, which is very much innovative and which is very much relevant for the time, because time is always changing. In market, economy is always changed, and because of that, with changing situation, we may take a good decision how we can manage our budget, how can we form our budget and utilize resource that can be, that idea can come from zero-based budgeting. And in performance budget, in case of conventional budget, we find that what resource will be generated, how to be spent. We give importance on spending of the expenditure. What money will be spent, that is given more importance in your conventional or traditional budget. But performance budget give focus, what will be achievement, what will be my performance, what will be targeted performance. On the basis of that, for achieving this performance, what ingredient is required, what input will be required. And accordingly, I prepare the budget that is more dynamic, according to me, according to my opinion. In comparison to conventional budget, your performance budget is more dynamic one, and zero-based budget is more dynamic one. Any more questions, dear friends?
So one more question from Dr. Purnima Saha. Question is the way of your, so say just thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. You are happy.
Ma'am, excuse me, sir.
But I have one sort of discontent, man, in my mind. Why I'm telling that you were waiting for my lecture early in the morning and 10 a.m. because of technical error. I was telling true fact. I come to the university library, central library. It's a very good one for this type of presentation. But because of some technical error in the early morning, I could not present that. So it is a valuable time, loss of valuable time. It's a loss of collegial time of the participants. I feel very sad because of that. But I'm very happy now that you are happy with my presentation. Next. Any more question?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question that what problem does lack of accountability cause in financial governance?
Accountability. First thing I just want to say, we are not aware about the financial governance. First thing I have to say, we are not aware only corporate governance and financial governance. So we read the things in that means from book, but in real sense we do not apply in our workplace. That's a very important thing. And first thing is that ethics is more important. We must be ethical for spending money, for recording money, and there should have proper recording of the transaction and how data will be presented properly. Many times we find there is a scope of manipulation of data. There is several kind of news in corporate sectors and government sectors. Government scam is also there about the manipulation of data. In absence of proper recording of the financial transaction, proper presentation of financial transaction, there is no proper financial governance. I know one scam. In this scam, what happened first? Balance sheet was prepared. After that, profit and loss account prepared. After that, trial balance was prepared. After that, ledger and journal is prepared. This is a manipulation. Always transaction come from journal to ledger to trial balance to PLBS. So there is scope of manipulation. When there will be scope of manipulation, there is a need of financial governance. In absence of financial governance, there will be collegial loss of public entity, collegial loss of the people, collegial loss of the nation. And therefore, we need financial governance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions?
No more questions in the chat box. If any of my fellow participants wants to ask any question, please proceed. Dr. Dipanda, sir, shall I proceed? Hello, Dr. Dipanda.
Yes, ma'am. You can proceed.
Okay.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Prashanta Sharma, sir, for giving us your valuable time and wonderful presentation. And I hope our participants have learned a lot throughout your session, and this session is very interactive. So once again, from our organizing committee, I would like to offer our sincere thanks to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Over
much.
to Swapnali madam.
I want to offer my heartiest thanks to Dipen Das. He's a very energetic government academician, energetic and young academician. He's a very energetic. I'm thankful to Dipen Das also. Thank you so much.
First of all,
Okay.
I, on behalf of the organizing committee, CESR, like to express
Ma'am,
my
you are
deep,
Offer vote of thanks. Yes.
deep sense of gratitude to today's speaker, Professor Prashanta Sharma sir, for delivering a very valuable, informative, interesting, and fruitful lecture on the topic financial governance. You have nicely explained different aspects of the topic, like what is financial governance, what are the basic nature of the financial governance, why is financial governance important, etc., and about corporate governance and about role of internal audit, etc. Thank you, sir, for explaining various aspects
Thank
of
you.
the topic very nicely. Hope this lecture will definitely help our participant friends. Thank you once again for this insightful
Thank you.
session, for joining us today and giving us your valuable time in spite of your busy schedule. Now, I want
Thank
to
you.
extend
Thank you.
thanks to all my fellow participants for their kind cooperation and active participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your this presence here. And also thanks
Yeah.
to Swapnali madam for moderating the session. Now this session is over, and I would like to request our coordinator to say something about the feedback and assessment session.